The trial for Ariela Thran began in Wednesday in Cortland County. Thran was charged with second-degree murder in 2024 after the death of her mother in the town of Solon. 12 News' Daniel Curran has more details from the courtroom.
Opening statements were made Wednesday in the trial of Ariela Thran, the woman charged with the murder of her mother, 62-year-old Patricia Allison Halverson, in the town of Solon. Prosecutor Richard Van Donsel argued Wednesday the incident took place on December 27, 2023, when Thran was at her mother's house for the holidays. Van Donsel said when Thran arrived at the 4425 Wildman Road residence at 2:30 that afternoon, an argument ensued between the two, resulting in Halverson being struck 14 times in the back of the head. Defense attorney Kevin Jones argued Halverson was knocked down, kicked, stomped, and trampled by the horses on the property that Halverson tended to. Jones said there are no witnesses of the incident and no murder weapon. Witnesses in this case are said to include family members, police officers, and medical examiners. Daniel Curran, 12 News, Cortland County.